Well,
Well, another day.
Well, another day, another sleigh, and another fall for Miss Nick. Tell us, please. Breaking news. Nick fell yet again, but there's a twist coming, so tell me where you fell this time.
So I fell up the stairs yet again. If you listened to last week's episode, I don't know what's going on with my body. Oh, are you okay?
Yeah.
Okay, we're readjusting. I don't know what's wrong with my body. I fell down the stairs at my train station.
You fell up before.
No. I fell down first and then I fell up on my way out. And then today I was on my way to meet my good friend Sarah, who's in town for the week and she leaves tomorrow. And I got off at
Sarah.
Hey Sarah. And then I fell up the stairs at Union Square in front of a bunch of people. But granted, those stairs are very steep if you're going from the A, up to the 4. If you've ever been in Union Square,
The A up to the 4. The A has no overlap with the 4, mama girl.
Oh, sorry, that's Fulton. I fell at Fulton.
Wow,
Street.
already with the lies. Okay, Trump.
No. Wait, I'm gonna be honest. I did smoke a little before because we hung out together and she had her little pen and she's like, "Do you want to hit?" And I said, "Oh, sure." So we are a little bit under the influence.
You're high?
Just a tad bit.
Oh my god, didn't even notice.
Thank you. Or is that bad? That's
No, it just means that I guess maybe you always act this way.
Well, no, I'm not that high, but I forgot where I fell. It was actually if you've ever been in the Folsom Street Station, you know that those steps from the A when you're on your way to go to the 4 are very steep. I fell up them. I got dirt on my hands. It was embarrassing, and here we are. Riveting start to the episode.
You know what? I am Pioneer Peru.
And I'm Trailblazer Nick.
And this is Pioneers and Trailblazers.
I'm feeling very like NPR, Ira. What's his name, Ira?
From the NPR lady?
No, is that NPR? Who's the guy? Who's the?
You mean Ina Garden? The barefoot Contessa?
No. Like the guy who does. He's a writer. Ira. Is it Glass?
Fuck these people.
Yeah, why are we talking about that?
What are we talking about that?
Anyway, moving on. What are we talking about? I fell up the stairs.
Yeah, while other people are having successful A-list guests on their podcast, here we are being real home down girlies with the townspeople about to break it to them.
Okay, break it down to them, babes. What are we breaking down?
Well, I was going to relate to you, which I never do, but I was going to say I didn't tell you this. In a moment of honesty, I'm going to be honest. I really have been having, which is my teaser to the town hall, I've been telling you, I've been living like a very Nick week, which also could relate to the apparel I have on today.
What do you mean by that?
Like, I'm doing very much like this week has been all about Nick behavior for me. Like, I've been living Nick experiences. So the first one, which is non-sequential to the other two that happened, but I'll start with this one and then you tell me, like what your town hall is, and I'll tell you the things that really kick it up there a notch.
Okay.
I was walking my dog Clover out, so Miss Clover was peeing, and also people were wondering on my personal account, Miss Clover, if she's a girl.
Oh no, it's a boy.
Oh, it's a boy. It's a dom top. My dog is unfortunately a dom top.
I wouldn't say Clover is a dom top.
At the park, he's like alpha.
Oh, interesting.
He gets everyone playing. He just wants to, he does this thing where like he goes up to a dog, and I'm gonna try to do it to you in a not hard way.
Oh, so you're gonna slap me?
Well, kind of. But the thing is, what he does is like he's like there, he's playing, but he does this thing was he like paws at the dogs on their snout, but like he paws at them like he's boxing them. So he's like, oh, and I'm like, Clover, just do your tail waggy thing. Like, don't be boxing them out.
No, he's a femtop.
He's a maybe
because he gets not give that just in everyday life, just like.
Well, at home he's not, but some of these girlies, like at home, they're like mama's boys, but then they go out in the schoolyard and they be acting all, like bully-esque. I'm not saying my dog's a bully. Anyway, so took him out to pee, came back. And I was like living my best life, listening to some music, back from the walk. And it was a little bit rainy. And I, a week ago, had seen someone literally do like a like banana style slip on the floor. Because the main floor is like, the like tile, the white tile. And then there's like the marble steps going up them. So it's a very slippery areas.
Okay.
And so I saw this guy that literally fell, but like the way he fell is like he was like whoop, boom, and like literally like his legs were up in the air. And like he just like.
Wait, is he okay?
Well, that's the thing. So when somebody falls like that, and like he fell and flew, and to also describe this, not to say I'm judging his body type. Well,
Wow.
I'm just saying he was definitely a very tall. He must have been like 6'4", tall, stocky. So I didn't even realize that he fell until I felt it, because then I was like, what happened? And then I turned around and like he had just fallen, and I saw like his legs just come down from the air, and he just laid there. He literally was just like laying there, and then he got so red, and I was like, oh no, he's so embarrassed. And at that point you're like, okay, obviously I'm gonna be sensitive enough to come over and like say, are you okay? But like I also didn't want to embarrass him, because clearly he was embarrassed. Like his face went red. He was just laying there red. He closed his eyes, and then he started chuckling a little bit, and he was like, of course I knew this was gonna happen to me. And then I was like, oh no, girl, don't be manifesting that.
You're like, girl, if you need to go to the hospital, you can suck my dick while you're in the bed.
Oh no, but I mean
you're like, I've had experience. Don't you worry, babe, I can help you.
But it was so funny
Was he
because
cute?
No, he was not cute. But then
wow, okay, drag him.
No, but I mean, I went, and I was like, from far away, I was like, are you okay? I mean, he started laughing, but he did not move. He just laid there.
He was like, I think I'm paralyzed.
Could
you imagine?
And I was like, well, you're not moving, so I just wanted to make sure that he was fine. So I was like, okay, I'm gonna stay here for like 5 more seconds. And he was like, no, I'm fine. I just need to lay here for a minute. And he just laid on the floor. And at that point, I was like, all right, I did my due diligence in offering help, so I just went my way and let him be embarrassed, because he was really embarrassed. You could tell, when someone's embarrassed. So anyway, cut to a week later, and I was like, look at me, I never fall. I never fall. I literally had the same banana slip that he did in the same spot. My dog wasn't pulling me, and I literally fell. And I was like, wow, it does happen to people, this like falling thing.
Wow, girl. Yeah, were you walking fast?
No, and my dog wasn't even pulling me either. I was just like, bloop. It was because the floor was wet.
So that's the Nick behavior, falling down the stairs.
Yeah, so that's really, what really solidified it for me, because this just happened a couple nights ago. The other activity that I kind of teased you about was a few days ago. But I mean, I want to get into that. But first, I want to get to some town hall suggestions from our lovely townspeople.
Did we get any?
We got some, yes.
Oh, okay.
And our townspeople love to engage. And so while we're here, we're going to do a few shout outs, because the town deserves to be shouted out, right?
Shout out.
People who show up to the town hall and they sit and they listen to all of the things in the agenda, and I think it's very appropriate for us to shout them out. So let's give a few shout outs to Shannon.
Okay, Shannon.
Shannon, shout out to you. Submitted a really good prompt. Will from, I don't know if Will's from the UK, but living in the UK. So hi, Will. Shout out to you.
Hi, Will.
Shout out to Larry Slay.
What are the suggestions?
One has to do with you specifically.
Oh, God.
And it is, well, actually, two are about you.
Why are you so gorgeous and beautiful?
Oh, no.
Girl, genetics. What can I say?
Genetics. Okay, one, and that's why I wanted to get you in the loop on this one. I'd love to hear your insights on age gap relationships and hooking up with older men. I am sure Nick would have quite a bit to say on the topic.
Yeah, I do.
Also, and then some really nice thoughts, nice things, and then also updates, please, on the married guy, Nick. What the fuck?
Oh,
which also, as the townspeople know, is known as DL Daddy.
Right.
So, Nick, fill us in, and then we can go into age gap in relationships.
Well, okay, so
which you are an not relationships, but being akin to.
Sure. No, I haven't. Yeah. No. So, DL Daddy, what happened? So Monday, I am in a writers group with some friends of mine. Oh, I'm sorry. You're gonna groan about that? You're gonna go. I'm sorry. I'm educating. I'm working. I'm continually learning and growing as an artist. Great. So this is just a part of my practice. Sure. So thank you. So stay tuned for the work that's coming out of that, because Oscars, here we come. Anyway, fuck you, bitch. So, so I'm in my writers group, and I was leaving. I was getting ready to go at the end of the night. It was maybe 10 o'clock or something, and I get a Grindr message from DL Daddy, and he is in he's traveling for work at the current moment, and then he's coming.
How's the daughter? We know she was sick from a couple episodes ago. Is she better?
Well, I don't know if it's a daughter. Oh, well, actually, does he have an only daughter?
You said my daughter is sick. Didn't
No,
you tell me that?
he told me his youngest was sick.
His youngest?
Yes.
Oh.
So anyway, so he DM'd me or like messaged me or whatever and was like, hey, what are you doing right now? And I was like, oh, I'm leaving my writers group. And he was like, oh, can you cam right now? Because he really loves
He just wants to cam at this point, really.
Well, no, but like when we do it, he just likes to chat. He just likes to sit there and just like talk and be like, oh, like I'm gonna be there soon. And it's just like, okay, like yeah, I'll see you soon. Like if I decide to see you, and I do think I probably am gonna see him again. He comes on Sunday. Anyway, we're thinking about it because I listen, free weed, girl. We love. He smokes me out. He's very nice. They could be open. I just never asked, so I will maybe ask.
Wait, so you haven't even solidified like that you're gonna see each other, no?
Well, he like sent me the date, so he's like he comes on Sunday and then he's like through the week or whatever. But anyway, so I was like waiting for my Uber to go home, and I was like, I'll message you when I get home, because I was like kind of horny, and I think he like wanted to jerk off because he was like in his hotel room, and I was like, honestly, like I could go for it. But then by the time I got home, because I did an Uber share, it took me so long to get home, and it was a Tesla, and I told Peru this, but I had never ridden in a Tesla before because like I'm trash, I guess, and also like they're kind of scary. But then like there was no door handle, and so then I was like smacking the door, just like hitting it, and the driver I think didn't like that, and then there was somebody already in the car, and it was kind of giving like Bushwick she-they vibes, and she was judging me down, okay. And then like finally the door opened. Oh, mind you, I smoked a whole joint on the street waiting for the Uber to come. So I was high out of my mind. Then
I like how you told me you were gonna curb your smoking too, and all these.
No, well, girl, I was curbing it from smoking all day, every day. So like now we just do it as a little bit of a nightcap, as one would do with a glass of wine.
Yeah,
you know,
like wind down.
I do a joint at the end of the evening, and then I'm nice and tired for bed. Anyway. So I get into the car, and then I grab the seatbelt, and then I could not get it to like secure. I just kept clicking it over and over again, and it wouldn't go. And the person next to me in the car just kept like staring at me, and I felt so judged in that moment. I was probably projecting, but then I just went fuck it out verbally. I went fuck it, and then just threw the seatbelt off of me and just sat forward the whole time. It was truly an experience. But then by the time I got home, I wasn't horny. I was just like, and then I messaged him. He's like, message you when you get home, and I was like, okay, will do. So I messaged him when I got home, and he was offline, thank God. And then he responded like a couple of minutes later, and then didn't bring it back up again, like didn't ask me to cam or anything. And then we kind of left it at that. But he's coming into town on Sunday, and he's gonna be here all week, and says that he wants to see me
all week.
He's here for a full week, and so he's like, I would like to see you. And I was like, well, we'll see, because like I have a busy schedule, like my days are pretty full, so we'll see if we can squeeze him in, you know.
You'll make it happen.
I'm putting me first.
Let's not forget, townspeople, that last time he hooked up with the old daddy,
I rushed out of work.
Famously rushed out of work. He never leaves work without asking me what I'm gonna eat and if I can get him fries, and I always do. That was one of the only
Thank you, you're so generous.
I think it was the only time that he left. And then I was like, but Nick, like Roadrunner style, like the fries were at the table, didn't even have any. Like you literally left in a huff.
I won't, cause girl, the sex is good. Okay, the sex is good.
You never really talk. I mean, you said that the sex is good, but you never really talked about what kind of sex it was.
I feel like I did.
Did you?
I did. Like I talked about well, I don't know if I did, but like, what do you mean?
Like, is it like daddy sub, or is it just traditional? You know, like is it specific? Is it kinky?
I mean, it was very I don't know, like it wasn't, we didn't like role play or anything. Like he really likes being dominant for sure, but we like spent a majority of the time in the shower. He really was like into just like, it was very sensual. Mm-hmm. It was just what it was. It was like very intense.
It's like a TAINTtric, is that what it's called?
Sure, I think, I don't know, but yeah. Like that
TAINTtric.
TAINTtric sex. Okay, that's
TAINTtric.
But that's what but it was good. And I'm at a phase right now where it's like I'm not super horny, so like if I am gonna like be like, my horny window is so limited. Like I will be horny for like maybe 2 hours while I'm at work, and then like I'll be on Grindr just kind of like scrolling, and then like be talking to dudes, and no one will be hitting me up. And then as soon as like I'm leaving and I clock out and I open the app and I'm just like smoking a joint outside, like I get hit up by so many different dudes. But by that point, because I'm so hot and gorgeous, obviously, but by that point, I'm just like not horny anymore, and I'm just like, I'm just gonna go home, you know, like, because who knows if that's gonna be good. So like, why stay up super late to like go have sex with like some rando if I don't know it's gonna be good or not?
Yeah, I mean, I typically don't commute. Well, no, it depends. If I've been out, like, I will do my best. Like on my way to the train, like I will walk like an extra, like 2 blocks up. You know, I will walk like the perimeter of the train station, just to make sure that the things are loading. If somebody's just like, hey, come on over now, like I'll give myself that grace period to like be like, okay, someone's gonna tap me in these 4 blocks, and then I'm gonna have to like be horny on the train. I have done this before actually. I was on the one train, and some hot person hit me up, and I had already gotten on the train.
Oh, I hate
and then I'm such a loser. Like I literally got off the train.
Oh, I never do.
So I could keep talking to him, and then I ended up going to his place, and then it wasn't even that good. And
See,
I was like, fuck.
and I'm at a point right now where it's like I don't want to like I don't care enough. Like I don't care. Like if the fact that you're hot and you like want to fuck, like that's not enough for me.
Interesting. I mean, you're really you're like in the winters of your face right now, because like it's been a little bit.
It's been a little bit. Thanksgiving.
Yeah, it's been.
But that's why that's why I'm not like super opposed to like hooking up with DL Teddy again, just because like I know it's gonna be good.
Good, and like it's
no strings,
and it's also like what's it called? Comfortable, because you've already done it, so like you don't feel like you have to like put a performance again.
No, I won't have to put on a performance. He is like, I know he's low-key obsessed, but also like no strings, because like fully married, so like he's not gonna like try to ask me to be in a relationship, because going into the age gap relationship thing,
yes,
I don't think, personally speaking, and I've said this before, but I can't really see myself being in a relationship with someone that significantly older than me, mostly just because like, for me, a sense of humor and like a sense of
you're saying older people have
no,
humor,
but like
wow.
but like similar reference points like for our like humor, like a lot of the references that I make. Excuse me, what?
I'm saying DL Daddy is much more well versed on TikTok than even me, I think.
No, but sure, but in a very different way. Like we have very different senses of. I have yet to meet an older man who he and I have the same interests and like similar senses of humor. Like sure, like I've met a lot of like older men that are very savvy on like Instagram, TikTok, Twitter, whatever. But the things that they're interested or the people that they follow are so drastically different from the people that I follow and the things that I'm interested in. Like it's still like there's still kind of a gap. It's not just like the knowledge of technology, it's like what you're interested in.
Good point, actually, because then we can dissect what is an age gap. Like, is 5 years an age gap? Is 10? Is 15? Like, what constitutes as like, oh yeah, there's like a
there's like
big age gap?
Well, there would be like, I would say like anything like
if you're 27 and you're dating somebody who's like 35, nobody would say like, wow, there's a huge age gap. If you're dating somebody, if you're 30 and you're dating somebody who's 40, even then, it's actually something that would be funny. Why are you pulling away from me?
Because you just the volume rose. Editor brain is thinking.
Any of the visual learners would see that I got close to Nick and Nick literally pulled away from me.
No, because our mics, again, it's a sound thing. My editor brain is always on and thinking.
Yeah, but actually, and if I'm gonna put you on blast, Nick Tina Aguilera, my editor brain actually put in the work to edit the audio the way that my voice has no echo. So let's see, because it's actually Tom's people this weekend. It's Nick's turn to edit the video, and let's see if he takes the extra time to edit my audio so I don't have an echo. So by Monday, if there's an echo in my audio,
there was an echo last episode.
No, there wasn't.
Or the episode before that.
I literally went through as much of my dialogue to make sure that yours was muted, so that it didn't have an echo. So don't come for me, because I have the receipts, mama girl. And actually, unlike Nick, who edits on his phone, I edit on an actual computer on a professional software. So I don't know, townspeople. You tell us.
I edit on my phone for financial reasons.
Do you like the Nick edits or do you like the Peru edits? Comment below. I'll point out which episodes I edited.
Okay, so back to the conversation at hand.
Yeah, episode at hand. Before you pulled away from me. I will say that, like, I remember when I was in Peru, my neighbors. Oh my God, Mr. Freddy, Mrs. Milagros. I don't think you even know that I'm here, but hi.
I'm sure they're huge fans.
I'm sure.
I'm
Huge
sure.
fans. Oh my God, it's at Mr. Freddy's room that I famously saw my first porn on TV with my best friend Cesar, who was my neighbor, and we saw our first porn together in a channel called Venus. That was the porn channel, and Mr.
Was it
Freddy,
like softcore?
it was hardcore.
Oh.
It was hardcore. He had like a paid pay-per-view channel. It's called Venus.
Oh.
And it was full color and everything too.
Wow.
And I know.
Not black and white.
Yeah, he was like the police commissioner, the police chief of like the town too. I guess just fun fact. Okay, sorry, the Peruvian police, by the way. Not
They
the
have
American
lives
police.
too. They have interests.
Tourist police, man in Peru love to watch porn. So how we get here? Because Mr. Freddy and Mrs. Milagros, they had a big age gap. She was 37 and he was 52 or something, 53 when they got married.
Mm-hmm.
And that was both of their second marriages or whatever. And that, I don't know why that stuck to me. I don't even know how I retained that information when I was, younger. I mean, it wasn't that long ago, but I retained that information. And I always thought, like, obviously if you're 15 and the person's 30, that's called statutory rape. Unless you're in Texas, then it's not. But with like for truth, right?
Is that the legal age of consent?
I believe
there?
a thing in consent in Texas.
Oh, I thought you were joking.
No, that's an actual. I'm actually informing the peeps.
Oh, that's like concerning if that's true.
I mean,
You should fact check that.
we can fact check this, but I will say that I know that in a court of law for Texas, I think that if they're trying to prove something, like I think the legal age of consent, I think is 16 or something. And it's either Texas or some state.
That's concerning.
We'll fact check this actually for because we're also like investigative.
Well, why don't you Google right now?
Let's see. Hey Siri, what is? Oh, sorry, I interrupted you. Sorry, girl. What is the age of consent in Texas?
Okay, I found this on the web for what is. Oh, sorry, I interrupted you. Sorry, girl. What is the age of consent in Texas? Check it out.
Under the age of 16.
Oh, so 16 and up.
Girl.
That's still too young.
Yeah. So I'm saying is like, but then if you're 30 and you're dating somebody who's 45, like nobody would be like, oh. And then the older you get, if you're like 45 and you're dating somebody who's 60, it's just like, well, that makes sense. The gaps as you get older become less of a thing, and I see where how that is the case, but at the same time, it's just like, all right, like.
But I do think I do think no matter what, it just also depends on the people that you have surrounding you, because there might be some people who would be concerned about an age gap if you were like 15 dating a 35-year-old, even though it is like 15 years. They could.
Why? I mean, what if you're 50 and you're,
But that's what I'm saying. But that's what I'm saying. Like, even when you're older, like even now, like I could not imagine dating somebody that's in college. Like as someone who's like out of college and like older, like that's not a huge age gap, but it feels like one to me. Like I don't relate to. And I can understand why, because I tend to go for older, like I tend to try to date when I'm dating, like I tend to like go.
Well, now you're not making sense. Now you're saying you don't relate to younger people that are younger than you, but now you're saying that like you don't think older people have like you can relate.
No, but like significantly older than me. Like so, say like I'm 25, girl. So like I can't really see myself dating someone 50 who's 25 years older than me. I could date somebody that's like.
What about 20?
No, I could.
21.
No.
You're only 25, girl. You think you've had that much more life experience?
Yeah.
I don't know.
It's different. It's so different. I've hooked up with a 21-year-old like a year and a half ago when I was 24, and it felt so like I was like, you're a baby.
I think it's context, mama girl. There's so many 22-year-olds out there who actually have their shit together more than I did when I was their age, and that's not hypothetical.
But that's what I'm saying. Then like there are some. It depends on the dynamic. Like,
oh my god, we're gonna have one of those episodes, huh?
What?
I can already tell.
We're doing a disagree.
We're just like disagreeing, and we're like, what? We're actually talking
like,
about.
That's what I'm saying. Like, I haven't yet to meet a man who's significantly older than me that has like the same interests as I do. Or like,
I've met plenty. There's a regular at our job.
Okay, you have. I haven't.
No, but I guess to prove the point that it's all like, I guess, context. So I don't think you ever met I'll say them, just whatever, but
Yes, I made.
You
I
know
made
the name.
I've made a TikTok about him.
Oh.
Like I literally stitched one of his TikToks before.
Okay, that is okay. So there's a regular at our place of work that soon will be no longer, because the townspeople are going to take us to a place where we're going to do this full time. Please subscribe and please rate and review. But he's a very well-known person on online, on social media.
Sure.
Not through performance, but through other endeavors. I would say very well-known. Goes to fancy events and premieres and whatever. And I found out recently, I had no idea of this actually, because their demeanor gives me a little bit younger. I just thought that like their salt and pepper situation or hair was like more just genetics, not like from aging per se, because I have like white hairs too. I've had white hair since I was 13. I started getting white hairs in the middle, here in the middle. Yeah, and then now I have more in the middle. And then I know you're about to say something snarky, and I'm gonna punch your ass, so don't even start. Punch your ass. Wow, I got really aggressive there for a second.
Wow, no.
And I'll punch your ass and you would like it.
I wouldn't actually. I wouldn't like it.
And he is 55.
That tracks.
But it doesn't track to me.
It does.
To me, when I meet him and I see him and he hugs me, he tells me I smell great and I look sexy, which he does tell me all the time. He just always like gives me like a very youthful and vibrant energy. Like his energy is just not. If we're talking about an age gap, like I would have a lot of things in common with him, actually, in lifestyle, in career situations, in a lot of aspects. I would actually have a lot of things to relate with him on.
Sure.
In a sense that I would be like, yeah, I could date him. Absolutely. The only other place in which I would need to make sure that we're matching is in the bedroom, obviously. Like, can he fuck?
Sure. I guess it just depends on, like, also the dynamic and the power that's in place. Like, I think a lot of times people get caught up on age gap relationships because they automatically assume that the younger person is lacking agency within themselves in the relationship.
Exactly.
Which oftentimes, I mean, it depends. Like, it depends on the situation. And it's like, I think also you have to understand that when you're at a certain age, like especially when you're in your 20s, like yes, you should always be a little bit critical, or like look at things with a critical eye at first glance, but also like that's an adult. Like at 21, 22, if I wanted to date someone or found someone that was like in their 40s that was like interested in me, yes, like looking at that now, it is like, why is that 40-year-old interested in this 20-something-year-old? Like,
of course,
like what do they get out of it? Sure, but that 21-year-old is also an adult, probably living on their own, or whatever, is around the age to be on their own, living their own life as a full-grown adult.
Yeah, they're like two separate things almost, right? Like,
yeah,
there's something worth investigating or thinking about why that 45-year-old or 40 is looking into 21-year-olds, but then the 21-year-old on their own can just really explore that however they want.
Yeah, sure. And like then I also think like people are so concerned. Like I think about this a lot when it comes to like the idea of parenting. Like you want, like, for example, your children to like not make the same mistakes that you did. And so I think oftentimes people look at situations through a lens of their own lived experience of having been through a traumatic situation. Mm-hmm. So say like, oh, I was in a relationship with a man who's significantly older than me. He abused his power and like whatever. And like it was, not a great relationship. And like I look back on it with not great memories. So if every time I see a young person at that age that I was when I was in that relationship with someone, for example, like then like I'm projecting that idea onto them. And so I think it's, yeah, so like not everyone has the same lived experience, so like every situation is different. And
now that being said, sex can be completely a different scenario. And I know psychologically and whatever you get out of dating somebody who's older, I mean if we're gonna go there, hey, listen, if we're gonna be real down home girls tonight, like the whole age gap thing can be because of a lot of things from your childhood too. Like you could find yourself attracted to older men because of something that happened in your childhood.
Daddy issues,
right? And that can mean
the
a lot of
lack of a male
things.
presence in your life.
Lack of a male presence, and so like it's like okay, but then you talk about sex, and I'm like, does sex have anything? Does age have any influence in sex? And let me tell you, Nick can defer. I can defer to Nick on this one for anyone who's like 50 plus, because like that's like your brand.
Sure.
That's your cup of tea. But for
Not
me,
always. I love all ages.
But for me,
my age and older though.
actually, the sugar daddy that I was like kind of seeing, like not this holiday season 2023, but 2022, German designer, incredibly hot. I showed you pics. Like was hanging out with Miss Fame, like good stuff. Yeah. Great time. I believe he may have actually been in his early 50s. He's, I think, the oldest person I've ever engaged with in as far as like age wise, you know. But mama, that German dick was fucking dicking. It was like,
good for her.
it was like auf Wiedersehen. No, what's hello in German?
Guten
Hello.
Tag?
Guten Tag?
I don't know what that means. I don't.
Good. Wait, what is Guten Tag?
I don't know, but it's German. No.
It is German. It is. I think it's good day. Guten Tag.
Okay,
Yeah.
that's like similar to hello.
Guten Tag. Yes, Guten Tag. Yeah. Guten Tag. Guten Dick.
Guten Dick.
Guten Dick. Yeah. So many good eps titles. We're not even calling them out. Wow, we're having a weird episode today. But wait.
The energies.
But his dick
Speak on it.
was the stereotype of like a European dick. He may have been early 50s with that. It was, I mean, we're not gonna just promote this brand or whatever, but girl, the length is there. Obviously not this girth, but like half this. And I remember the first time that we tried having sex in his hotel room, which he had a long stay at the Mercer. It was the penthouse.
Okay.
Great. It was an amazing. He had like it was a beautiful space, and then we were on his bed, and I literally was like, okay, tonight we can only do half of your penis, because like I wasn't fully prepared.
Only half.
Yeah, and then like later he ended up putting, but I mean he was trying to stick it all in, and I was like, bro, relax, really.
I douched earlier.
You did?
I did, but like I don't know if I'm gonna have sex tonight.
I douched yesterday because I did get pounded out, but I didn't douche today. I forgot.
Oh wait, we have to get into that. Oh wait,
Yeah.
but the last thing on the age gap.
Well, yeah, I mean, yeah, the sex, I think it just depends on the person, because this German sugar daddy, early 50s, was dicking it down.
Well, sex is different. I think like sex, like sometimes you are horny and there's a certain itch that you want to scratch, and sometimes, you know, depending on what the vibe is and how you're going about it, you can go and get that. Like a lot of the times, like I'm just like, if I want to have a quick fuck real quick, I know I'll get it good from an older man, because lived experience. Usually if they're hot, still at that age, they're fucking frequently, for the
And
most part.
they're clearly taking care of themselves to like be in whatever age bracket they are, but still, you know, like commanding it, owning their age.
But what I also love about hooking up with older men is that it's always, for the most part, it depends on the man that you're in, but like they're so grateful for you to be there. No. A lot of the times, like when I'm hooking up with a dude, like an older man, they are so just like surprised that me as like a 25-year-old is like interested in them like sexually, that they're just like so happy that I'm there. They're like, they take care of everything, and they're like my presence is like just enough for them to like get super horny and like whatever, and that makes me feel really hot, because I'm just like, oh, they're like, and like usually they're, I mean, to me they're super hot, but like they, I think probably because they're older, you know, older gay men, they have insecurities about aging and whatnot. So when someone young finds them attractive, they really pull out all the stops because they want to impress you. So
I think, yeah, that applies more to you, because I feel like you've had more on the gaps on that one. I haven't had that big of a gap in which like I feel like, oh, they're like so lucky to just for me to be interested in them.
yes, I mean, and like the thing is like my taste ranges. So like physically, like,
yeah, but the ones that some of that you show me, like Nick's talking about like mid 50s, like on average, like this
the guy who did meth that I talked about, the episode, I think it's episode 14, because he was on meth.
Because he was on meth. Listen, please.
He hit me up the other day and said, hey, I don't know if you remember me, we hooked up back in November, would love to hang out again sometime. And I was like, oh, hey, it's so nice to chat with you again. Yeah, sure. I probably won't. but it was, his dick was too big.
It was too big?
It's too big.
That's what's stopping you, not the meth?
No, honestly, yeah, it's actually just the fact that his dick is too big that I like, I'm not into it.
Because his dick was too big. That should have been the title of the app.
When I literally like hit a wall, I just would be like, every time he would like kind of really pull it up.
Yeah.
That's why also the drug dealer that I like hooked up with, I've had sex with a couple of times. I've talked about it before, I'm sure. But he like lives in my neighborhood now, I think, and so he hits me up all the time on Grindr, and like his dick is too big too. Like I just can't. Like, and also I mean I would have sex with him again if I knew I was gonna get like something out of it, unfortunately. Yeah, but the last time that we had sex, he didn't give me drugs, so I was like, girl, what are we doing?
I was who was the other guy? Oh no, we're gonna talk about it. But yeah, I mean, I feel like it really depends. It really depends on the person. Honestly, if you have a connection with somebody, you wanna explore it. But ultimately, there is gonna be like what I was gonna say is what I find with like quote unquote older men, and what I like about older men is that they always have a way better apartment.
That has not been my. Really? No, girl.
The last few I've had.
I fuck every once in a while a struggling. He no longer is struggling because he quit, but he was a struggling comedian in his 50s, and he lives in the East Village, and he has a mattress. He doesn't have a bed frame. He just has a bare mattress on the fucking floor. Mama, he's a personal trainer though, so the body nice. The body's good. And every time I go over,
he has to have something.
He gave me a free training session once. Did I tell you that?
No. Did you take it?
Yeah. Literally,
You're like, hey.
Well, because I met him first when I was a senior in college because he lived across the street from my friend Sarah, who I saw today, who used to live with me in this apartment.
Full circle.
But so when she was living in the East Village at the time, she lived across the street from him. So I would go over to her apartment my senior year, literally almost every other day second semester, because like we just hung out or whatever, and I'd be on Grindr and he'd be on there, and so I would fuck him all the time, and he lived across the street. But the first time I met him, he like ordered pizza. It was like really nice. He like really pulled out all the stops. Bare mattress on the fucking floor though. But his apartment's cute. He's lived there forever, but he's a personal trainer. And then he was like, oh, I'm a comedian. And I was like, oh. And he's like, yeah, I do a lot of open mics in like the East Village. And I was like, oh. And he's like, yeah, I haven't really cracked it yet. And I was like, how long have you been doing it? And he's like, 15 years. And I was like, wow, okay. Ooh. And the last time I saw him, he told me he gave it up. And I was like, oh, I'm so sorry. He's like,
I mean, he's got the other thing going at least.
No, but then he trained me. So we fucked. The sex is good. The sex is good. Listen, when they don't have money, men who don't have money, fuck good.
It's
because they have to make up for it.
I don't think it's making up for it, but I have noticed a trend with like, well, I guess it's like it's a two different kind of thing. Like either they're older, like the two daddies who had a threesome with a few months ago. They had a beautiful place by NYU. Like there was floor to ceiling, like bookshelves in their bedroom. Great, beautiful. Like, oh, it was a beautiful like gay space, and like they were both creatives too, which you could tell. One was like on the I guess like financial side, one was on the creative side, and I was like, I can tell because the apartment's like beautifully decorated.
Sure.
This other one that I had yesterday, I mean. The beauty with the older men that I've had from my personal experience, and I guess the ones that I'm choosing, is that they're just like, yes, we're lawyers, we're doctors, we're like this. They have like, and if they're doing that and practicing in New York City, they have money to do it. Now, at the very same time, the younger girlies who like have shitty apartments are the ones that dig it good. It's always the ones with the dirty ass bedroom with like hot Cheetos like bags and like 3 glasses of water, a Poland Spring, a random way, like dried out Coke, and like just like underwear on the floor. You didn't even know. Those are the ones that like throw you on the fucking bed and they just fucking like pound it out, and you're like, yeah, you don't have to clean your room, because
that has not been my experience with men of
really?
my age bracket.
Girl,
every man that I have sex that I've had sex with that has been close to me in age has been so bad at sex, except for one who I had sex with him, and then we like fucked. I've talked about him a bunch on here, and I'm sure I've told the story before, but like one of the last times I had sex with him, I was like, we have really good sex in the middle of it, and he literally stopped and he was like, yeah, I guess we do. And I was like, oh, okay, I guess we don't view it the same way. I was like, this is so good. Anyway, he gave me like 3 hemorrhoids. And
then pounded you out.
He pounded me out, but like the thing was, he would
like
come,
chicken payard.
He would like come within like 2 minutes, and then like he wouldn't do anything for me, and then wouldn't get me off. Like when we first started fucking, he would make sure I got off, and then
you said that.
And then by like the 3rd or 4th time, he like stopped caring, and then I was like pissed off. And then he also made a comment about the sounds that I make when kissing. He's like, you know, you don't have to make noise when you make out. And then I was like, fuck you. Anyway, I've told the story before.
No, the ones that like dig me good, and no, like if I see basketball shorts on the floor, if I see just dirty laundry just laying around, if I see an undone bed, the ones that like have shitty apartments. It's never white linen. It's always either just a black bed cover or like a bluish grayish. I don't know why. Probably because they're getting it from like the sale bin at Target. Like they're just like, it's just the generic. But they're the ones.
And what's wrong with the sale bin at Target?
I'm just saying.
Wow.
But they're the ones who do this kind of thing.
Wait.
And then you're like,
I haven't had sex in so long.
I mean, hey, listen, we're gonna go out tonight, so like maybe we can pimp you out.
I doubt it, because I was gonna wear this, and then you literally were like, not that.
No, you said I don't know what to wear.
Well, and because
I didn't think you were dressed.
I was like, I look comfy and cozy and cute.
But you can't say something like I don't know what to wear, and then like wear like your comfy clothing, but then like expect me to be like, oh yes, serve the house down boots, mama, with this look. Like this is not a going out look.
Wow.
I mean, it's not, but you look great. You always look great. I think you're an incredibly handsome
backtracking, Your
gentleman.
Honor. She's backtracking, Your Honor.
I'm just saying that I was trying to be supportive in the sense that you were like, I don't know what to wear. So it was just like, well, obviously not that.
It's fine. It's fine. I'll change my
Well,
look.
you definitely have to change.
Talk about your fucking date that you have tomorrow.
We're not going to go out like this. I was trying to get Nick, and we'll see, because I'll take some photos and I'll release them on Monday to see if he did. But I was like, we should be like Bushwick girlies today, and like, we're like matching vests, 'cause I'm wearing a vest in honor of being in Bushwick, because I'm trying.
Not even in.
Well, we're in Bed-Stuy, but I'm pretty sure we're gonna go into Bushwick. But anyway, so like we should do like a vest too.
We'll see. I wore a vest yesterday,
but nobody saw that.
A lot of people saw. I wore it to
The
work.
ones that we're hanging out with tonight. They're not gonna see it. I repeat outfits all the time if I know.
But not, I repeat obviously, but not back to back.
I repeat back to back if I know I'm not gonna be seeing the same people, and it was a good outfit.
Oh,
and the weather's nice.
I don't do that.
Anyway.
Based on my feeling and what my mood is.
Well, thank you for submitting that. Keep submitting stuff to us. Please.
The only one we're gonna answer.
Well, we have one more that's more of like a question that I think I want to leave for the end.
Wait, what was the one that was geared towards me?
This is the one.
Wasn't there another one geared towards me? You said there were two.
No, I think it's that one. The other one, I think, is just for both of us. But
trying to dim my shine.
I mean, there's a few, but I mean, whatever. Sorry, I'm the only one producing the segments. Okay, you're just sitting there not going through anyone's DMs. Okay, yeah, they still know about that. They know.
I have a lot of things on the agenda. I'm so sorry.
Me too. I have a big show I'm preparing for, which I'll announce to you eventually.
Okay,
so
and I'm doing a lot of writing.
Great, me too. Actually, so
yeah.
What else? Anyway, so while Nick is falling. Not in love, but down the stairs.
Soon. Astrologically, apparently.
Astrologically, and I am. Well, actually, I'm not gonna say anything about what I'm doing tomorrow because I don't want to jinx it.
I thought you were gonna tell me. I thought that was.
I'm gonna tell you. No, I'm gonna tell you the things that I did that are why I'm living my Nick life this week. I'm gonna tell you about that because I haven't told you about that. So
we've been waiting.
Early this week, I was like, I've been really horny, and I feel like during the creative process for me, I go one or two ways. I'm just like. Oh, like I get hyper focused and like I get the inspiration and I'm just like, okay, writing down looks, the designing. I just get everything and then sometimes I get like a creative block and like I'll see my pattern. A lot of the times when I'm in a creative space and I get a creative block, the first thing I do is go on Grindr and I just want to get fucked. So like lately I've just been wanting to just get fucked, and I saw Nick on Monday. Wasn't it Monday when I sent you the screenshot of that guy that I was gonna go have sex with?
On Monday?
It was Monday or Tuesday because I worked Monday.
A screenshot. I don't remember you sending me a screenshot.
Remember? I sent you a screenshot. And
Show me.
Oh my god, girl! Jeez, you don't remember anything today. This one.
yes.
It was Monday. It was Monday at 10:30. Yeah, extremely hot person. Very much up my alley. Very much the ones that I, love to indulge in.
Right.
I have talked to this person before. And mind you, the first red flag from months ago when I first talked to this person was that they love to refer to my pussy as my Latin pussy. And I was like, okay, it's fine.
Is he white?
He's white.
Okay.
Well, Italian, but white.
Well, white people are. I mean, Italians are white.
Well, yeah, I mean, I guess depending on like where you're from, but whatever. So anyway, he actually did this thing on Monday where he like wanted to know where in South America I was from. And I was like, he just has this fetish for, like brown people,
Yeah.
And I was like, whatever. I like the dick. I was like, I just want to get it. So,
Was it pretty?
I showed it to you. But now I can go on this. I think I unstarred him after what happened. Okay. So this is why, I mean, it's a very Nick story. You're going to see why. So I leave work and I realized I hadn't douched. So, we have been talking about douching a lot lately on the podcast. And of course, like I didn't bring my bulb with me. The one that I have at home.
Mm-hmm.
And so I was like, I'm gonna have to go to a drugstore and get one so I can go to his place and just get ready. And so I had told him, I was like, hey, by the way, we had been talking. He was like, I cannot wait to fucking like eat that fucking Latin pussy, just when I want you to put on a show for me. He was really into it. And I was like, okay, great, I love you, Poppy.
You're like, lucky for you, I am a performer.
Yeah,
I love the stage.
Lucky for you, I also have professional experience being Latin because I am. So I was like, I can pull out the words, I can pull out the poppies, I can pull out this.
Like I'm gonna go method.
I'm gonna go method. And so, even though I'm a white woman, and so I take a cab because I was like, it's that point in time where like a lot of 9-to-5ers, and I've had this experience before in Grindr where like between 10:30 and 11:30 is like crunch time, because like if you take too long, then they'll be like, hey, actually I just have to go to bed, like I have to wake up at 6 or something. So like I knew that I had a time crunch, that I was like, I need to hit this guy before he decides to back out and goes like, hey, actually I'm just gonna go to bed. So I was like in like a movie. I found a cab and I was like, oh my god, where's the closest pharmacy? I was like, the Rite Aid. Oh my god, let's go to the Rite Aid. I go to the Rite Aid. Enter the Rite Aid. For some reason, they didn't have like enemas, and then I was like, "Where are the fucking enemas?" There was a whole diarrhea section. There was a whole display for everything, and then I was like, "Where are the fucking enemas?" Finally, find an enema, which is gonna come into play very soon. Not in a bad way. No, please, no trigger warning on that. Okay, everyone, stop telling. Oh yeah, Miss Mama Girl who sent the request for you to talk about the age gap. She was like, also, Peru, I'm so sorry to hear what happened. I was like, thank you. Finally, somebody sends their thoughts and prayers.
Finally, you're seen.
Finally, I'm seen. And that was again to remind anybody who wants to send me a dick pic and wants to flirt with me online. That's the first time that's happened in 3 years. Okay, so it's not a common occurrence. Anyway,
right, it could happen again.
I find this thing that's called Fleet, and it says like
yeah, that's like a standard the Fleet brand.
Okay, yes, and it was about this size, which I'm used to the taller bottles from Walgreens or whatever. It was this size.
That's the ones I use, Fleet.
But I was like, why is that big? And I was like, and I was in a rush because then the announcement was like, the Dwayne Reed is the Rite Aid is closed. Please bring your stuff. And the taxi cab was actually waiting for me outside.
The taxi.
Yeah, because I was like, keep the meter running. I'm only going up to Chelsea, like just a few more blocks. I was like, if you want to keep the meter running, I'll run in, come back out. And he was like, I'll do it. So I was like, great. You just gotta be New York, baby. It's New York. So then, buy it without even taking it. I wasn't really reading really well what it was, but I just saw the little photo of what it was, and I was like, this clearly is telling me it's an enema, so I'm just gonna grab this and take it with me, throw it in my tote bag. I was like, off to this address. I was like, I'm 5 minutes away. I get there, get to the apartment, he gets me the thing. I get in. As you've seen, he's a good looking person, very hot.
Sure.
Get there, he opens the door, and from the bat, it was him, a little shorter, but he either was stoned or something, because he was just like doing this thing where he was just like, hey, like his eyes were just squinting.
Oh, he probably was high.
He was probably high as fuck, but the way he was talking to me wasn't like smooth or like, he wasn't being like sensual even. He was just being like, I'm gonna pound your fucking Latin pussy. So I was like expecting to get greeted with like, so I'm like, hey, what's up?
Oftentimes there's a duality of man there.
Well, I understand, but like he greeted me. He was like, hey, so he was like, oh my god, so chic, you look so good. But he was like,
was he too femme for you?
No. That's not, no.
Say?
But I'm trying to say like he just agreed. He was like, hi. It was awkward from the get-go because he was just like Squinty. He was like, hey, how are you? He's like, great. Wow, you look good. I like your jacket. And I was like, hey, what's up? I thought I was just gonna come in, and I was like, okay, cool, I'm here. And he already knew. I was like, hey, I'm coming in right from work. Is it okay if I hop in your shower really quickly? And he was like, for sure. So I was like, hey, and then we were talking awkwardly for like 2 minutes, and I was putting my stuff away, and he was like, hey, yeah, sorry, I've been watching this documentary on Netflix, the American Nightmare thing, like the Gone Girl situation, and I had already seen it, so I was like, oh, it's good. And he was like, yeah, I've been watching it, so I've just been like doing that. So how are you doing? And I was like, I'm good. Like, so it's okay for you? He was like, yeah, of course. Go to his shower. He then it was like an okay apartment. I mean, he does live in Chelsea, so I'm assuming lived alone, but it was like a small place, not super nice, but it wasn't bad either. It was just like an okay place. So he takes me to his bathroom, the smallest bathroom ever, of course.
Okay, drag his bathroom.
He opens the shower. He's like, anyway, so we've been talking, and then he goes on this rant about the landlord and how he has to pay. He's withholding rent, and like how like basically the hot water's not coming out properly. He's trying to teach me how to get the hot water to work, and I was like, it's okay, but he just wouldn't stop talking, and I was like, you're either really high or like I don't know what's going on.
He's probably stoned.
Then it's like, anyway, so like try the hot water is this way. I was like, okay, great, just give me I'll be really quick. I'm just gonna close the door, get my tote back, and then I pull out the fleet. Guess what I pulled out? And I have it here as evidence in my pocket.
Oh my god. Oh, is it one of the mini like one-use things? Yeah, I've done that.
Anyone who's watching, I want you to see what it is that I bought. Now, if your first thought is Peru, well, clearly, if the size of the bottle was this, the size of the box was this, clearly it's no. It was a way bigger bottle that contained like 5 to 6 of these.
I've done that, but mine was smaller than that, and I have it in my closet. I can show you later. Where like it's not even like this. It's like a one use. Like you rip the top off of it, and it's like it's so tiny.
This is a teaspoon, a tablespoon at most. How does this even do anything
for babies?
Oh my god.
I mean, I don't know, but like, yeah, like children. It's only when you're constipated.
I used a baby enema. That's the title of the app. I used a baby enema.
Did you really use it?
I was freaking out when I pulled this out.
Well, because I was like, because you have to empty.
Oh no, I emptied this in water because this is actual. That's a 101. Anyone who's never douched before or whatever, you always dump out the enema water that it comes in with, because that's saline solution. Saline solution is actually gonna make you diarrhea. You don't want that. Just use the water. There's another brand actually that actually makes water for douching. It's like this gay doctor that created it. If you're wealthy, look into it. I did it for a few. And then I was like, I can't afford this, but there's this brand that makes like that balances your like pH levels or whatever.
Sure, I just do tap.
Yeah, I just do tap water. Anyway, so I pulled this out. The water in the shower is running. My timer is running literally in my head. I was like, I have 5 minutes to get ready. It was like it was again. It was literally like a.
And he said he wanted to pound. How big was the dick?
It was 7.5.
He wanted to pound you out, and you only have that.
And I was like, oh my god! So I have to empty this, and I was actually kind of laughing at myself because I was literally doing this. I was like, fill it up.
No, that happened to me.
I was literally trying to use this, and then I was like, you know what? And then I was like, whatever. It's not working really well. But I was like, you know what? Fuck it. Like, if whatever, we'll do something. We'll play, and then like, I'm just gonna be like, hey, just like, I can't go too hard. I was actually gonna go out and be like, hey, just like,
I'm not really
quickly ready. Or like maybe like I'll just like blow him or whatever, which I never really do. This. Anyone who listens, I never just do that. But I was like, maybe since I'm already here, I might just do that. So the shower never got warm. It was cold. And so I was just standing there naked trying to get the shower to fucking work. So at least maybe I'll just rinse off. Mama, I was standing on the tub of that shower for like about 5 minutes. And the thing would not work. And so I just started splashing myself just so I could pretend like I showered, quote unquote, to give the illusion that I just rinsed myself off to freshen myself up. Not to douche my ass out in the fucking toilet. So Splish splash with the cold ass fucking water. It was one of the cold. It was colder earlier this week, so it was just fucking freezing. Grabbed the towel that he had already used. He didn't offer me like a dry towel. I was like, can I just use this towel that's hanging here? He was like, sure. And I was like, okay, you could offer me a dry towel. He didn't.
Well, laundry's expensive these days.
I was like, whatever. You know what? I'm already here. I just want to get pounded out. I just want to have sex. So I'm here. He's hot. He's acting weird. He just keeps squinting, and he's not acting like flirty with me. He's very like, hey, bro, like very much like squinty vibes, squinty high vibes.
Okay.
I come
you
out.
should set him up with me. I feel like we
I
would have a
come
lot of fun.
Oh God, no, you won't, because I come out, put the towel around my waist, and I was like, all right, we're gonna get sexy now. I go into his room. He's literally watching the show. He's like, oh, you're ready? He's like, oh, and then he like
Well, what's
pauses
the problem
the
with
show.
that? He was just waiting.
I wanted him to like be stroking his cock or something, and like just be sex, because he hadn't made a move. He hugged me when he saw me. He didn't kiss me. Like, oh,
Well, because I'm sure he's trying to be like considerate of boundary. You know what I mean? Like, I guess he was saying that I'd want to pound you out, but like you've never interacted in person before, so like.
well, just wait, because then I come on, putting on my sexy moves, you know, in the towel. I take the towel away. I'm like naked, and I'm like, all right.
Is he naked or dressed?
No, he's still dressed. And then he's like, hey, and he's saying a bit, and then so he's just like, and I come up to him naked. I'm fully naked. I'm like, all right, and I was like, I was trying to be sexy, you know, and I was in Florida. It was like the shower never really got cold, so you're gonna have to warm me up, you know. And then I lay on his bed, and then he just keeps talking about like, oh my God, the documentary is like interesting or whatever. Like, oh, he starts talking to me and starts like switching the topic and he's not taking his clothes off, not doing anything. And I'm literally just like sitting there naked. Then I lay naked just to see if he's gonna get on me or anything. Still doesn't. He's just sitting at the edge of the bed, just like talking about the show and talking about his landlord and talking about how the water he's gonna withhold rent. And he's doing this whole thing where he keeps laughing like this. He's like and he's just like and he's like, oh my God. And then he goes, yes. So I'm like fully naked in his bed, and he goes like, yeah, so like I guess I shouldn't have been watching this show because like I'm not even horny anymore. Like I don't even know what to do. I am laying there naked. He said I'm not even horny anymore. He was like, I'm not even horny anymore. I don't know what's happening. Like I'm not even. And he's just smiling, and he's just looking at me, and I can tell that we're not having sex. But he's not saying anything about it. He's just rambling and rambling and rambling. Nick, the man did not stop talking about the things in his life and his job. It was so uncomfortable. As he was talking, I literally I went and started putting my clothes on. And he just kept talking. He just never once was like, hey, it's not going to happen. Sorry, whatever. He just kept talking about like the apartment and how long he's lived there, and he was just like acting like he was squinting still. I was so pissed because I just wanted him to shut up, and I wanted to be like, listen, are we gonna fuck? Like, are we gonna hook up or not? Not once. Grabbed my fucking tote bag from the fucking bathroom. And I was like, and he keeps talking and just following me around while I'm just gathering.
How long
my
were you there
things.
for?
Like 7 minutes the entire time. 10 minutes stops.
Oh my God.
Get there, say hello, he hugs me, he's acting weird, try to fucking do a baby enema, cold shower, come out, naked on his bed, and he's just rambling on and then just being like, oh my God, I'm not even horny anymore, and doesn't even say anything. And then he was like, oh my God, I feel bad, but I'm not horny anymore. He never said like, it's not gonna happen. I'm gathering and I'm like, uh-huh. He just keeps talking. I'm like, uh-huh, yeah, oh yeah, right, yeah, rent is crazy. Yeah, I know, yeah, landlords are crazy. I fully have my jacket on, my coat, my tote bag, my phone, grabbed it, and I'm literally at the door. And he's like, well, thank you for coming. He never said anything about this whole situation. He acted like nothing happened.
Oh my God.
And then I was like, and he's like, well, can I get a hug? And I was like, I'm good. I was like, I'm good.
Did you fuck somebody else that night?
I was so pissed that I was like, the twist is that I told two other guys that I was also talking to online at work on Grindr to a couple that wanted to just get blown. There's always get their cocks serviced, as they said.
I love doing that.
And I was like, I was about to go, but then the way hot guy reached out to me, and I was like, okay, then I just made up something, and I was like, oh, work's taking longer. Sorry, I might not make
so you
it.
backtracked. You were like, actually,
So I backtracked on the two cocks, and then I fully doubled down on the super hot guy. And then that ended up being a bust. I was so pissed, and I was only there for 10 minutes, and conveniently enough, the couple lived 2 blocks further up.
you sucked them off.
I was like, hey, actually, I just got off work, and I'm actually by the train, and I'm actually right here. Are you guys still good? And they were like, yeah, we're still up. Nick, I went after being... and I've never done this in my life, just gone to someone's place to fucking suck cock. I
love doing that.
I lifted my chinny chin chin. I went to this couple's apartment, and then I fully serviced 2 cocks.
Were they good?
They were good. The one of them was like he was a fat cock. It was vitiligo cock. It was a vitiligo cock. 8-incher, I think, 7.5 or 8-incher, but like massive. And then his boyfriend, who I think I had more of a connection with, because like he just kept wanting to kiss me.
Oh, I see.
Had more like my type, you know, like he was the one that I feel like I would connect more with. But like the fat cock, I would love to ride. Like there was Nick. I was thinking of you the entire time in a non-sexual way, because I was like, I am doing what Nick does all the time. I was like going from dick to other dick. I was like, I never do this, and then I found the beauty in it, because I was like, wait, like I don't have to worry about not being douched. I could just 100%. Suck their dicks, and then come.
Yeah.
And then they were really intimate. They were playing porn, but they were like, it was like, I ended up going there again the next day.
Really?
Yes!
Wait, shut up.
I went back. They were like, oh my God, you were so good. And I was like, well, because I was in the area again.
Wait,
and
you
I was
just
like,
told me what they
down.
look like. You just told me what they
Yeah,
look like.
I mean, they're not like necessarily like, wow. But like, one of them is really cute. One of them is like nice, like, you know. But like, we had a really good thing going. Now, the second time, the one of them couldn't get off. But then like I actually ended up putting up a show for them, and I like actually like jerked off in front of them, and they were like getting off on that.
Oh, okay.
Like and I never do that. Like I never do that kind of thing. But I was feeling my oats, and I was like, oh my God, yes. Like I just like kind of like spread myself out and was just jerking myself off, and I just like shot everywhere. And they were like, that's so hot, and I was like, thank you.
You're like, thanks, girl.
Yeah, because I never do this. I was like, I was putting on a performance of a different caliber. I really was. And then I was like, I honestly was just like, wow, I don't think I'm going to do it again. But this really opened up a door into just meeting up to suck cock. However, it was only because I was so frustrated and I was in the air that I did it. I would never like actively go on Grindr just looking to suck a dick. I am ultimately a fucking kind of girl. Like I just like to fuck. I don't just want to go there for first base.
Sure. I mean, I will still do all. Like I'd love to just go over and go and then, and then I'll come back and we can fuck. But I mean, ultimately I love fucking.
So that was how I lived my Nick life.
So then how did this date come about?
I don't want to talk about it.
Wait, but you didn't tell me all week about it because you were saving it for the pod. So now I'm gonna be
No,
pissed.
I was saving this story for the pod.
So then why did you refuse to tell me about it?
Well, I'll tell you after. But I guess whatever. Townspeople, just so you know, I am going on a date, which is great. I mean, I go on dates famously, but
right.
This one's specific because I'm going on a coffee date, which I never do. I've been outspoken about in my one of my comedy shows. I talked about against coffee dates because I think they're just like I don't like them. But I'm really kind of vibing with this guy, and I'm actually really excited. So I'm not gonna say much more about it. I'll tell you the details of the thing when we're heading out. But I'm really excited. I think, yeah.
Okay, well, happy for you.
Thank you.
And happy to hear about sad about the man who was too high to fuck. But, it happened.
I don't know. And the thing is, like, when I left, I was like, wait, was it because, like, he didn't like me? Was it because, like, I wasn't what he thought I was? Like, I honestly, he was acting, like, smiley and, like, squinty. And I was like, he feels high to me. He feels like he's, like, but then another part of me was just like maybe he just wasn't into me, like I don't know. So like that kind of scenario to me, like it pissed me off that he was not I don't know. It reminded me. The reason why it's a Nick story is because that happened to you as well.
Well, it's actually happened to me a few times where I've gone over and they aren't interested in
Yeah,
that.
well, that's never happened to me.
It
And
must be nice.
this happened, but then that guy was being awkward too because remember you came out of the shower.
Yeah, and then he was like, "Oh, I just don't think this is gonna happen." And
Yeah.
I was like, "Oh, okay." And then he's like, "Let me get you an Uber home."
Which is nice. At least he was like, it's not gonna happen. This other guy literally just like sat there telling me his life story about his fucking.
That's why, because he was in his 50s. You have to hook up with a much older man because chivalry is not dead within that community. They'll buy you an Uber. They used to, girl, when I was 18, they were
Okay, I gotta wrap
offering
up.
they were offering to buy me Ubers left and right. And now at 25, girl, I'm still young. I'm still kicking.
Mhm.
I'm still a prize. No one's offering to buy me an Uber. No one, besides that one man. He was the last one. Every other one, they're like, "Oh, it's gonna take you 40 minutes to get on the train. I can wait." It's like, oh, wow, okay. So you're gonna force me to go out in the cold and transfer twice to come to you?
Girl, you love to do that. Not anymore.
No,
this year.
literally not anymore. Unless you live in my neighborhood and like you're hot and you're nice to me, it's not happening.
Yeah.
And that's that.
That's that.
That's that, babe.
Do you have a trailblazer?
I think the mini enema is gonna be my trailblazer of the week because I think it's just like. I just think it's happened to me before. I'll have to show you because it's like similar in size, but it's not as nice as this. It's like cheaper. I got like the CVS brand one, and it's like the packaging is insane. But it is kind of beautiful that they think that this is gonna do anything to clear out your bowels.
Yeah, but I mean, again, it's for a baby, I guess.
I'm sure, and also like if you're just a little constipated, you know, not like crazy. But yeah, this has happened to me before. She's a trailblazer though because she's so cute. She's so portable. You know, I wish this is all you needed, like this one little flush through, and then you'd be clean and clear and ready to go.
No, it's not.
But it's not.
You need more than that.
I don't know if everyone can on camera can see that, but I'm gonna just show it off. Yeah, there you go. Mini
There you
enema.
go.
That's my. What's yours, Pioneer?
My Pioneer is actually gonna be. I'm very much enjoying. Not that I didn't enjoy, but like right now I'm really like actively trying to like do more thrifting and more vintage shopping and stuff. And like I'm gonna shout out my friend Lisa's business, Lazy Sundays ho. Lazy Sundays. They all do like vintage home and clothing stuff, and she's got a keen eye. I've known her forever. She's always been really great with like had a good eye for like vintage beautiful things and chic and fashion forward clothing and stuff. And I got this vest.
Sounds very familiar.
I love
I
it.
also do that. The
Um
influencer and the influence.
oh, shut up. I did. She does have this vest that I think you would like.
Oh, that is really kind of cute.
I was like, Nick would eat this
It's very kitschy, which
it's
I
very
like.
kitschy.
I
Yeah, it's
like
very
that.
you. So anyway, just like, you know, pioneering on the thrifting game. If you guys, you know, go to your thrift, especially if you actually live in like not a metropolitan city like we do, in a smaller town per se. Those are where you get the real good finds. So you thinking you're like, oh, I don't live in a big city. Like, girl, you've got some really good options on like cool shit.
If you live in a town with a majority older demographic, girl, when they start dying off,
And they don't know what the things
thrift
they have.
the thrift finds are incredible. When I went back home for the holidays, it was Thrifting Central because I'm from the Midwest, so like the Midwest thrifting is really good. So yeah, no, I love.
Yeah. And anyway, just continue. We are gonna be upgrading on some things very, very soon. Now I can actually say that because we made a pact. We're gonna be doing that. So give us a couple of weeks for some technological upgrades, and then beyond that, just keep supporting us, please. Thanks
Thank
for all the
you.
stuff. Share the podcast on Spotify, Apple TV, the YouTube. You know, I feel like the community is growing. So
You can follow us on Pioneers and Trailblazers on YouTube, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, wherever you get your podcasts. Instagram. You can follow me at Nicholas.Rose on Instagram, ClownfaceBitch on TikTok, ClownfaceBitch on Twitter/X. You can follow Peru at Hey Peru everywhere on socials. Thank you. We love you. Peace out.
bye.